Is it over, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you can take down this. I think I had covered this much till the last class on Thursday. Okay, fine. Okay, let's move. Right.
Yes, sir.
So we see that the shape of the frequency response is determined by the impulse response of the coefficients of the difference equation. So, but we cannot guess the shape of mod of Hj omega or the magnitude response and the phase response based on the values of H of n or AK or BK. So even if we like know the impulse response in the time domain, we cannot guess what will be the shape of the magnitude response and the phase response. And while designing a filter, we need to know the shape. Then only we can design a filter. So for example, if I want to design a low pass filter or high pass filter or a notch filter, I need to know the exact shape of the magnitude response. So there is a dependence between the shape of the frequency response and the location of the poles and zeros. So we'll try to see a geometric and an intuitive procedure for quickly determining the magnitude and phase response and to understand how to build LTI systems. So I'm just showing you this again. This is the same thing which we had seen in the last class. Okay. So it is just written in a different way. Here you have e to the power j omega minus zk and e to the power j omega minus pk. There's nothing big deal, just rearranging the terms. So you just have to note down this guy. This is the new thing from the previous slides. So whatever I'm showing you by the cursor, please make a note of this guy. We are going to interpret this formula now using geometry. So each of these terms in the numerator and the denominator, they denote distances or vectors. So we will see how it can be interpreted geometrically. Okay, are you done? Okay, let's move. So this
Yes, sir.
So this is the point Z on the unit circle. ZKZ, that is e to the power j omega minus Z, that is the point which is here to here. This is the distance. This is the complex vector. ZKZ. That is equal to what? That is equal to e to the power j omega minus zk. Similarly, you have a point pkz. This is a pole, this is 0. So the 0 is having a magnitude of qk and an angle theta k, whereas the pole has an angle of phi k and a magnitude of rk. This was the notation, right? I had used. All of you? So this is your angle phi k from the x-axis for the pole. This is the angle theta k from the x-axis for the 0. And the vectors zkz and pkz, they are denoting the factors e to the power j omega minus zk and e to the power j omega minus pk. Is it clear? So this vector is e to the power j omega minus pk. And the pole as well as the 0, they make an angle with respect to the x-axis, which is capital phi k and capital theta k. So in Greek letters, we have small Greek letters and capital Greek letters, just like we have small ABC and capital ABC. Similarly, in Greek letters also it is like that. So this is capital theta k and this is small theta k. Similarly, this is small phi k and this is capital phi k. So capital phi k and theta k are the angle with respect to the x-axis of the 0 and the pole. So if you draw a horizontal line at the location of the 0 and the pole, then you get those angles. Angle made by zkz with respect to the x-axis and angle made by pkz with respect to the x-axis, that is theta k and phi k. So I hope this diagram is clear to everyone. So this diagram will come again and again, and we'll have to understand how to interpret this diagram. So if you have understood, I will move on. Fine? So this is what is written. You can make a note of this. So you see this vector zkz is equal to e to the power j omega minus zk and is denoted as capital qk into e to the power j capital theta k. So capital qk is the distance from the 0 zk to the point e to the power j omega. And capital theta k is the angle of the vector zkz with the horizontal positive real axis. Similarly for the pole. The pole is also written as capital Rk e to the power j capital phi k. So the formula which I had shown you earlier can now be simplified like this. With the vectors, you can simplify it like this. So this is in complex notation. So this is the magnitude part and this is the angle part. So this formula is the important thing. All of you are able to see? So your midsem exam is on 11th. Shall I schedule it on 11th, Monday morning?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Or
Yes,
shall I
sir.
keep it on Thursday? Shall I keep
Monday.
it on Thursday?
No,
Monday
sir.
is better.
How many of you say Thursday? How many of you say Thursday? Officially, I'm supposed to keep it on Thursday. How many of you say Thursday?
Sir, Monday would be better.
No, I'm asking, how many of you say Thursday? I need to know. How many of you want on Thursday? I don't want to put my opinion. Otherwise, you start complaining that he's deciding himself. Whatever is official, I am ready to do that. How many of you say Thursday? Tell me yes or no.
No, sir.
No, no, sir.
No, sir.
So you are at fault, okay?
No, sir.
Don't complain later. I am ready with the question paper, okay? So you are at fault. Don't complain later that I kept your midsem on outside the date of the official dates. Okay? This comment I should not see.
Okay, sir.
So you are at fault. Okay? I am ready with the question paper. Those who want Thursday, I can keep it on Thursday. I don't have a problem. So this is your formula for the interpretation with the figure. So if you see, this formula has these amplitudes, and they are written as a function of omega. Qk and Rk are the amplitudes of the vectors zkz and pkz, and these are the angles made by that vector with respect to the x-axis, theta k and phi k at zeros and poles. And this is the zero at an n minus mth order zero. That is why this angle comes. And so if you see here, it is omega into n minus m. Okay. And this is a zero on the unit circle. That is why the angle is omega. And B naught can be a complex number, so it has a magnitude and a phase. So this is the full explanation. Let me show this slide. So we know that angle B naught can be pi radians when B naught is less than or it is negative number, because e to the power j pi is equal to -1, and angle B naught is equal to 0 for B naught, a positive number that is greater than or equal to 0, because e to the power j 0 is equal to 1. So angle B naught can be either pi or 0. And we have expressed q, r, theta and phi as functions of omega to emphasize their dependence on frequency. So the magnitude and phase responses can be obtained, and you can note down the explanation here. So this will be the basis on which we will try to design filters. We'll choose the location of the poles and zeros, and we'll see how the magnitude response and the phase response comes. So once you have noted this down, please let me know. Okay, so we have a problem. The ERP system is scheduled to be shut down from 9th to 11th midnight. Okay, so 11th is your mid-semester exam. So I cannot keep it on 11th then. Okay, you understand? I've got a mail. So this mail says that the ERP system is scheduled to be shut down from 9th 10 a.m. to 11th midnight. So I cannot hold the exam on 11th. So 9th is supposed to be a Saturday, right? So 9, 10, 11th midnight. Then I don't have any choice. Your exam will be on Thursday. Okay. So if this mail would not have come, I would have kept it on Monday. But the ERP system will be down up to midnight. So if the ERP system is down up to midnight on Monday, then I don't want to take a chance. Because from 12th onwards, your Dussehra holidays start. So your exam will be on Thursday. So these people are scheduling their ERP server maintenance like that. So it is tough for me. Okay. So I need the ERP server. If there is any problem and I have to communicate with you, then I have to use the ERP. So I have to take it on Thursday. I will not be able to take on Monday. Okay. Yeah, I think you've all noted this down.
Yes, sir.
So this is the explanation. So if you read this, it says that the magnitude response at a certain frequency omega is given by the product of the lengths of the vectors drawn from zeros, that is z from the zeros to z equal to e to the power j omega, divided by the product of the lengths of vectors drawn from the poles to z equal to e to the power j omega. Now, whatever I had shown you in the diagram, it was from a single pole and a single zero. So you can imagine that there are multiple poles and multiple zeros, and you have zkz and pkz from those poles and zeros to that point z. Z point is fixed. Okay, that is at e to the power j omega on the unit circle. Similarly, the phase response is obtained by subtracting from the sums of angles of zeros the sum of angle of poles. So the numerator contains sum of angle of zeros and the denominator contains sum of angle of zeros. So you are subtracting that. All angles are determined with respect to the positive real axis. So using this geometrical procedure, we can determine HE j omega for every value of omega, or equivalently any location of the point e to the power j omega on the unit circle. So that point z can vary on the unit circle. You can keep varying omega because your HE j omega is a variable of omega. Okay, so it is a function with respect to omega. So omega will vary. So the length zkz and pkz of the vectors will also vary. So we are going to change those the position on the unit circle, and we are going to find out HE j omega. So every time I change omega, all my lengths zkz and pkz will change. So I will compute HE j omega mod and angle HE j omega at every point omega by using that diagram. Is this point clear? Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
So that particular diagram is only a snapshot at a particular omega. As I keep changing omega, I will get a function which is HE j omega. If I take the absolute value, you can see that the absolute value is calculated like that in the formula. And similarly, the angle is also calculated like this. So for every value of omega, I will calculate this and I will calculate this. Then I will get the plot of the magnitude response and the phase response. So what happens if I introduce a single pole? That is the analysis. And what happens if I introduce a single zero? So what will happen to the gain and the phase response by the introduction of a single pole or a single zero? So that is what we are going to now look at. So significance of poles and zeros. So for the time being, just ignore this dashed line and you just think that there is a point Z on the unit circle. This is an ellipse, but you think that this is a circle, okay? So this point is on the unit circle and there is a pole PK pretty close to the unit circle. We'll see what happens if you move PK close to the unit circle and you have the angle omega, or rather let me zoom this so that you can see it clearly. So at a particular frequency, omega k, you have this vector z, and we are going to move this vector z over the unit circle. And the pole is located here. Pole is fixed, okay? And the pole angle with respect to the axis is phi k. So this is slightly rotated diagram. Let me show you. So this is the real axis. So therefore the angle made by the pole pk with respect to the real axis is phi k. So the pole is fixed and the z point on the unit circle is going to vary. So we have drawn the vector pkz from the pole to the point on the unit circle. And we are going to see how the magnitude response of the filter will change. Similarly, we will analyze how the angle of the phase response will change as z rotates on the unit circle. The pole angle is fixed. So the pole vector or the other vector pkz with respect to the z vector, the angle is alpha k. You can just make a note of this. So this angle that the vector pkz makes with the vector z or origin to z, oz, is alpha k. This is slightly rotated and this is an ellipse, but you treat it as a unit circle. So roughly speaking, if you have a plot of He of j omega, or the absolute value of that, the modulus of that, then the zeros of that means where He j omega is going to the value 0. And the pole of He j omega means where that value is going to infinity or where it is shooting very sharply. So if I vary the position of the pole, where does it cause He j omega to increase? That is what we are going to analyze. We are going to study notch filters. We are going to study high-pass filters. We are going to talk about band stop and band reject filters. We are going to study notch filters and comb filters. So there the concept of increasing, we are also talking about oscillators. So the concept of increasing the value of the magnitude response at a particular frequency or in the vicinity of a certain frequency is important. So that is why the analysis of what the pole will do, if you and where you want the magnitude response to go high, that also is important. So what should be the location of the pole and how does it affect the absolute response or the modulus of He j omega and the phase response. So that is what we are going to understand. Okay. So all of you can see this, right? So firstly, we are going to analyze the gain, rather the gain enhancement. So we'll see that the gain will be enhanced by the introduction of a pole. So how does that happen? Let us see. So again, as I've shown you, that pole is located at the angle phi k. It has a magnitude rk. And to find the magnitude response for a certain value of omega, we connect the pole point pk to the tip of the vector z equal to e to the power j omega, or point z on the unit circle. And if the length of this line is capital Rk, then we can write it like this. Okay. It is a single pole. So if you compare it with the formula, whatever I had shown earlier, just make a note of this and I will go to the previous formula and relate it. You can also look at your notes. So you see in the previous formula, you had the product of the lengths of the vectors from the zeros zk to capital Z divided by the product of the lengths of the vectors from pk to capital Z. Okay? You can take a look at this formula. See this. There is no zero. You have only one pole. So it is some constant divided by this single vector length. Just hold on one second. Okay. So if you see this formula, because we have a single pole, it will be just mod he of j omega equal to being some constant. Here it is taken as kappa divided by only the length pk to z. So let us look at this. So pk to z is a vector. So this over bar denotes a vector, and it is written as kappa by rk of omega, where rk is the magnitude. So if you see this line segment pkz, it will take its minimum value 1 minus rk at omega equal to phi k. Suppose you put omega equal to phi k. That is, in this diagram, you put omega k equal to phi k or omega equal to phi k. We are just talking about one particular frequency. So omega is equal to phi k. If you do that, then this line will coincide with this line, right? And the magnitude of this line is 1 from here to here. So this point will go and sit here. This particular vector, the length will be 1 minus rk. The line segment pkz will take its minimum value 1 minus rk. So this particular pkz will be equal to 1 minus rk. If you imagine that this z point comes and sits here, then this segment, can you see my cursor? pkz is 1 minus rk. Because if it is sitting here, then z distance from the origin is 1 and rk is the distance O to pk. So 1 minus rk is this small distance, pkz. All of you can see my cursor?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that will be its minimum value. And its maximum value is 1 plus rk, that is equal to, that is happening at omega equal to phi k plus pi. So you look here, phi k plus pi. That means on the other side of this line, here. If z is coinciding along this, so z rotates and comes here, then this distance is 1 plus rk. Okay, OPK is rk, and this side z is now here. So the angle that z makes with the x-axis is phi k plus pi. So omega is equal to phi k plus pi. This is z here. So this distance is 1 plus rk. So the maximum value is 1 plus rk at omega equal to phi k plus pi. So the length pkz increases progressively as omega increases from phi k to phi k plus pi. and then decreases continuously until omega approaches the value 5k again. So it goes from 1 minus rk much to 1 plus rk, and then again goes back to 1 minus rk as it comes back here. Okay. Okay. So mod hej omega decreases because mod hej omega is having the denominator as rk of omega, or the length of the vector pkz is coming in the denominator. So whatever I talked about the length pkz of that vector, that because it comes in the denominator, it affects hej omega in the reverse way. So this magnitude hej omega will decrease as omega goes from 5k to 5k plus pi, and then progressively increase as omega goes closer to 5k. So we conclude that the pole pk equal to rk e power j 5k results in a frequency selective response that enhances the gain around omega equal to 5k and attenuates the gain as we move away from 5k. So if you introduce a pole at an angle 5k, it will increase the magnitude response around omega equal to 5k. So you have just introduced a pole rk into e to the power j 5k. So that is located at an angle 5k. So the conclusion is that when you introduce a pole rk into e to the power j 5k, it will cause uh, enhancement in the magnitude response at omega equal to 5k and attenuate the magnitude response as we move away from 5k. So the dynamic range of the magnitude response is 1 plus rk by 1 minus rk. Okay. So the maximum value of hej omega is 1 plus rk and the minimum value is 1 minus rk. So this is the behavior of the magnitude response when you introduce a pole at a certain angle 5k. Similarly, you can also understand the behavior of the angle. So this is the conclusion. The peak He of omega at omega equal to 5k becomes sharper as the pole approaches the unit circle. This is again another important thing. Now, suppose the pole is located closer to the origin, then the peak will occur at 5k, but the peak will be broad. So if you want the peak to be narrower and sharper, then this position of the pole should be on this particular line closer to the unit circle. It should not be on the unit circle, because if it is on the unit circle, then your system will become unstable. So your filter, if it has to be stable, then all poles should be inside the unit circle. So the pole has to be closer to the unit circle, and the maximum gain will happen at 5k, and the gain will be very sharp. So you will get a very sharp increase in the gain as omega is equal to 5. Okay. So with this, I will stop today. So I reach the end of the class today. So we have discussed the magnitude response. Tomorrow we are going to further discuss. Okay. Okay.